You've probably heard the word of API in the technical meetings and you've been like, what does that even mean? Hi, this is Shada. I've been working in the AI industry for the past 10 years. Every day I sit in the meetings with lots of abbreviations and the technical words, and I know how overwhelming it can be when you're not familiar with the terms. I'm creating this video series to break down all of those technical words into the simple explanation that help you to understand. Let's start with the API. What exactly an API? API stands for Application Programming Interface, but what actually that means? Think about an API as a messenger, as a middleman who takes the information from a system to another system. Let's start with a non-technical example. Imagine you're at the restaurant, you place your order through the waiter takes your order to the kitchen, the chef prepares the meal and brings the meal back to you. The waiter acts as a middleman. You don't really need to be worried about what's going on at the background, at the kitchen, about the ingredients, about how the chef made your food. You just care about your meal. So in this example, you as a customer make the request, make the API call, the waiter acts as an API, acts as a messenger, takes your order to the kitchen, and the kitchen is the system, is the backend. Now let's move into the technical example. When you want to travel, you use the flight booking websites such as Skyscanner. What you do, you choose what country or what city you're flying from, and what country and what city you're going to get into. And then you put your flight dates and the number of the passengers, and then you click on the search. So in this example, the website does not store all the flight's information inside itself. It used the API connection to take the information from the airline's website and brings it back to you. Now we have covered a technical and a non-technical example. Let's move into the use cases of the API and why we use API. Number one, access to the third-party data. What that means. Do you really think Google and Apple have put the temperature sensors across the world? Of course not. They're using the API to connect into the data from the weather predicting companies such as weather.com to grab the data. So can you see how API can remove the complexity and reduce the cost for accessing to the third-party data? Now let's move into the second use case of API. API allows the two different systems to talk to each other, to communicate to each other. What that means, when you're logged into an app using your Facebook or your Google account, API is handling all that authentication for you. So it just allows you to exchange that information between the two apps, two applications. Now let's move into the third use case of API. APIs simplify the complex processes. As a software developer, when you want to get the data from the third-party system, you don't really need to know how the other system works. You just request for your data and you receive your data. It is like that kitchen example. As a customer who ordered food, you don't really want to know what's going on at the back end of the kitchen. All you want is your food. So it just reduces that complexity around how I'm going to deal with the other systems. All you want is your data. So it just removes the complexity from the equation. So if you like this short video, stay tuned. I'm going to break down lots of more technical terms into the simple version that everyone can understand. And if there's an abbreviation or acronym or anything that you want to know more about it, please drop it in the comments and I'll create a video for you. Stay tuned. Thank you.